Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Murray, I have enjoyed working with you. I want to read some names. Lindsay Garcia, Anna Newton, Katie Williams, Rachel Littleton, Doug Clapp, Aaron Goldner, Laura Powell, Maria Calderon, and Amanda Wema Bradley. Those are the members of our staff on both sides of the aisle, and they worked very hard, and I want to thank them. They're kind of unsung heroes, so I don't know, maybe now they'll be sung heroes. This is not a bad bill. Could be better. We're spending more money on defense. In particular, our plutonium pit production, our nation's weapon systems, the nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile. My biggest disappointment, as you know, and I don't want to overstate it, the world's not going to spin off its axis, but we've got more work to do. As you know, a big portion of the energy and water development bill is defense. And so how we define defense matters. We also have a problem in our country with nuclear contamination, many sites. And that's an environmental concern. Technically, it's defense, but to me, it's more environmental. And we obviously have to address those. Senator Murray and I disagree over whether that is a defense expenditure or a non-defense expenditure. I think it's non-defense. I think when we call it defense, this is my point of view, and only my point of view, when we call it defense, we give the impression to our constituents and taxpayers that we're spending money on defense when we're really not. But as we all know, this bill has a long way to go. I applaud our efforts here. I support them. I think I voted for all the bills. I think we all recognize to a large extent this is play acting. At some point, we're going to have to reach agreement on 302B allocations. I know we've taken a vote. It was a purely partisan vote. I'd like to see us sit down and negotiate that. And we also have got to convince Senator Schumer, my friend Senator Schumer, to bring the bills to the floor. And we've got to talk to our House members. So we've got a long way to go. Final point. We are starting to discuss extending the cuts in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. And that's a discussion we need to have. To me, the way we ought to start is taking a look at what worked and what didn't work. And if it worked, we ought to do it again. We ought to order a dozen. If it didn't work, we shouldn't do it. But we're not going to be able to do that in a vacuum. We all know we have to spend more money on defense. We just do. I don't want to have to learn Mandarin at my age. We've got to spend more money on defense. We cannot ignore the fact, I don't want to get into whose fault it is, that we're running deficits. And those deficits become debt. And if we keep going at the rate we're going to run out of digits. So sooner or later, we're going to have to take a look at our budget. And I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm a part of it. But we got to stop creating exceptions and emergencies that aren't really emergencies and really sit down and have a frank discussion how we're going to balance all these competing interests. And maybe the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act issue will be the the propellant that we need. And that's just one person's point of view, but I bet Tester agrees with me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.